What's up, everybody? Ryan Coogler's new movie, Sinners, is finally here, and it might just be my favorite movie that he's made so far. Let's dive in. Alright, I want to start with the story because it's the only area I have some genuine complaints for the movie. This story is truly the story of Sammy Moore, the cousin of these two brothers that Michael B. Jordan plays, and that part is incredible. I actually really enjoyed how that unfolded, but it wasn't perfect. Now, the trailers do kind of spoil the movie to begin with, but the opening scene, not the drawings and stuff, but the opening scene with Sammy actually spoiled the movie. I think it would have worked a lot better if it just started with where we start after going back 24 hours. That would take us through Sammy's life on the plantation, and then we'd go with him on his journey of getting out of that life. That would have been perfect in my opinion, and it's just a minor change, but it is what it is. The big thing with this movie, and I think this is in fact what's probably going to make or break it for a lot of people, is that it is indeed a slow burn. A big one, in fact, but it worked for me. I enjoyed the twins going through town in the beginning. We got a lot more of Haley Steinfeld as Mary than I was expecting, which was great, and I was dancing like I was at the party before everything goes down, so it's a test of your patience. But once this turns into a full-on vampire movie, that final stretch just flies by and it's perfect. I loved how Coogler wraps the movie up and then allows us to see that full journey come together, as we do get a happy ending with Sammy growing old and then he doesn't get bit in that credit scene, and it's maybe a bittersweet ending is a better way to put it, but it opens multiple doors for where Coogler could go with the sequel, which I'm very much interested in if he is. However, the thing I liked most about this story is actually Annie's purpose in it. For us MCU fans, that's Hunter B-15 from Loki, but here she represented what the vampires, Remick specifically, should have been. She is Smoke Finisher the second she goes down in that brawl, and that frees her and them to join each other in the afterlife. So essentially, if Remick had just found someone to free him, which he does, I guess, by the end of the movie, and he probably does get that happy ending with his family that he wanted the whole time, but the difference between these two characters is that she's kind of like Voodoo Mama Juju, and I don't want to make light of it, but and then he's just a guy who lost his family and wants them back, so her spiritual side allows her to see things more clearly, and he's much more impulsive than she is, and she was just a great part of this story. With that being said, it's time to highlight the cast of this movie, and I'm just going to start with my two honorable mentions, I guess I'll call them, because I was just talking about one of them a ton. Wunmi Masaku and Omar Benson Miller aren't necessarily front and center in this movie. They certainly get their time to shine, but Wunmi definitely gets a bit more than Omar, but both of them just dominated their scenes. They were definitely my two favorite supporting cast members out of the group. But Michael B. Jordan is simply brilliant in this movie, and it's double because he's literally doing it twice. Everything from his charm to his vampiric nature to his standoff with the clan, it's amazing. He's just so versatile with his performance here as both brothers, and I think it's one of his best yet, and I would say that again about his performance as either brother. He's that good. On top of that, Haley Steinfeld kills it, and she actually gets a lot more screen time, like I said, as just Mary before Bloody Mary, where she's got incredible chemistry with Michael B. Jordan. But I thought she was phenomenal once she became a vampire, even though that was the lesser half of her role. Then you have Miles Canton, who brings this innocence to the table, as he's like the cousin who gets dragged along by the others to go get into trouble, and once they get into trouble, there's a bit of guilt that he has when Stack is taken out, and this was just the perfect casting by Francine Maisler, the casting director. But I think my favorite performance in this movie, even more so than Michael B. Jordan twice, was Jack O'Connell. He was lights out as a villain, and his performance works so well because he brings this sinister charm once he's built up his group of vampires, and even before that, when Haley Steinfeld goes out to check on them, but it's paired with a deep pain of wanting to be reunited with his family. I'm gonna be honest here, I didn't even know his name, I didn't know his face, I didn't know this guy existed before this movie, but I'm definitely gonna have to go through some of his other movies he stole the show. Now, moving on from the cast, I'd be a fool if I didn't talk about the music in this film, as like Coogler and like Michael B. Jordan, I thought this was some of Ludwig's best work. He sets the tone for both halves of this movie, and then the rest of the sound department, the sound mixing was incredible, and the cast too, who do sing quite a bit in the movie, were damn good. Then Rod Wave has a really cool song that plays over the credits to cap the movie. Finally, the visuals that Coogler and Autumn Durald Arkapow, I hope I pronounced that right. There's some names in this movie that are putting my pronunciation to the test, and it's terrible, by the way. But those two, they create breathtaking visuals here. For one, you're not squinting into the darkness, but more importantly, it's so vibrant when things go down. One thing that has just been at the front of my mind since I saw this movie was the barn burning. It wasn't actually burning in the scene, but it was like the vampire seeing the barn and hearing the song, and it's just the breaking the veil that they talk about, and it's just incredible. But the costume and makeup department might have been even better in what they did. They did a fantastic job crafting the look of these vampires, between that iconic shot of Haley Steinfeld with the bloody face to Remek's nasty ass hands at the end of the movie. It was nasty in the best way possible. However, and this isn't a serious complaint or anything, but they missed big on not giving Stack gold fangs. The grill look is so cool on Michael B. Jordan, and I needed him to have those gold chompers, but I'll survive without it because it still looks great, and they give them some really cool context too once they turn into vampires. Both the red and the yellow were great. And so that's going to do it for my review of Sinners. One tough stretch in the middle of this thing held it back from being perfect for me, but it's without a doubt my favorite movie from Ryan Coogler, as this one lands at a 9 out of 10 for me. But I want to know what you guys thought about the movie, so drop your thoughts down in the comments below, smash that like button if you enjoyed this review, subscribe for more videos just like this every day, and make sure you have a great day.